Hey, great Thursday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. And with our 15 minutes of mastery that we do to get your day started off, I would say each and every day, but we didn't get to do it yesterday. I had a lot of stuff going on out here in Fort Myers, Florida. But anyway, we come in the mornings, get your day started off on the right foot with some information, inspiration, and motivation. And we're in here with episode number 454. And before we get started, hey, just thoughts and prayers to all of the families, everyone affected by the tragedy yesterday in Washington, D.C. Thoughts and prayers from myself, my whole family, and the whole Manufactured Home Sales Mastery family. Look, it's close to home, man. I fly a lot, travel a lot. So we see something like that, it is a little shaky. But anyway, want to get in and get you guys going with something that's going to help you today. Listen, all you housing consultants out there, all you community managers, every one of you who's involved in helping families across the country to decide on purchasing a home. I want to talk to you about preparation. I want to talk to you about the fact that you are only as good as you prepare to be. You are only as good as the preparation that you put in. Mike Krzyzewski, right? Great basketball coach, writes, champions play as they practice. Create a consistency of excellence in all of your habits. Champions play as they practice. And now, I reference sports a lot. I reference sports a lot in our training. I reference sports when we're training. I reference sports when we're doing consulting work, when I'm working with teams. I'm always, because sports and sales kind of go hand in hand. The outcomes that we're after, the same thing. You're only as good as a team. You're only as good in your sport that you chose as a profession in comparison to the amount of work that you put in, right? That's why you have the Tom Brady's, the Michael Jordans, the Stephen Curry's, the Tim Duncans, the Wayne Gretzky's, right? Because of the amount of work that they put in to hone their craft. Those people are prepared for every situation that would arise on the court of the field or whatever sport that they were working there, that they're in. And it's no different for us in sales. It's no different for any one of you, no matter what kind of sales, and really in life in general. Like, you want to be a great parent, you got to prepare for that. There's no preparing for it ahead of time. In other words, you've got to put in the work to be a great parent. You want to be a great spouse, same thing. Look, man, I'm guilty of it, right? I think we all have let things go at some point in time. But I want to talk specifically about the lack of preparation. And I'm telling you, the lack of preparation comes from a mindset. The lack of preparation comes from the lack of having been the type of person in your prior life before you landed in whatever position you're in now. Your life prior to that did not revolve around competitiveness, did not revolve around wanting to win. It did not revolve around understanding that you need to put in the work to get better. Now, you may have been part of a team at some point in time, but if it wasn't truly a passion of yours, you didn't put in as much work as the other guy or girl. And you looked at them and you saw them and you knew there was something special about them, or you knew that they put in a whole bunch of work and they were getting the accolades, or they would get the recognition and you wouldn't. And sometimes you would get upset about it. It bothered you, but yet you knew that the only difference was that person put in the work and you didn't. And rather than get upset with yourself at the fact that you were lazy enough and didn't want to put in the work, you would hate on that person. And I seen it happen so much. Look, before my career, before having launched Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, I saw it as a PhD, as a general manager. I saw it in my career in manufactured home sales. Heck, I've seen it all my life. You know, the 15 years before. So I did 15 years of selling manufactured homes in one way or another, right? 15 years before that, I was in site-built housing, and I saw it there as well, okay? And I bring this to you right now because as I work with more and more people across the country, It's easier for me now to tell the people that are willing to put in the work from the ones that aren't. It's easier for me now to see the people that just wish they had that little bit of support, that little bit of push to put in the work to get better, to continue to grow. And those that are just like, they've just, why are, I even asked myself, like, why are you even here? Not so much in our training class. Why are you even in this industry? Why are you even doing what you're doing? You're wasting opportunities of being able to help families, and you're costing yourself money, you're costing them the opportunity to get the home, and you're costing the company money. All because we're not willing to prepare. Some point in time, we decided, well, we're adults, and I can talk to people. I'm good at talking to people, and that should be enough. That's really what I see in those folks. Those folks that don't want to prepare, don't want to train, don't want to put in the extra work. That's the common trait right there. Is they all think they have got it. They arrived. They don't need anything else. Look, I'm an adult. I know how to talk to people. I'm going to ask a few basic questions, and ultimately they're going to decide to buy it or not. And that's just it. When it goes so much deeper than that. But when you don't prepare, and there's other things that go into play with preparation, and we're going to get into that here shortly. But those who don't prepare, those who continue to just show up and go through the motions, shoot from the hip, not be structured, don't have some sort of game plan. Imagine Tom Brady and the Patriots showing up on game day without a game plan, without having practice, without having prepared for the game the week before, without having put in the work. And it wasn't just a week, but it was something that they did daily, even in the off season. But yet we think that that's not the same thing in business. We think it's not the same thing in life. Why is that? That comes down to the inner drive of the person. That is something that is in you. It starts in here, and it's part of this. It's part of your feeling, your emotion, your heart. Okay. But you're costing yourself money. You're costing yourself money by doing that and thinking that way and operating that way. Right. But on the other side of that token, those people who prepare, those people who understand that, look, especially those that have been in the business 5, 10, 20, 30 years, that continue to learn, continue to grow, they continue to put themselves out there. Those are the people that thrive in life. Those are the people that have huge successes consistently. Not for a little while. We've all seen those guys that come in and they're doing well for a year or two, maybe 3, but then they flame out because it's not something consistent. It's not something that they continue to do. I had a sales call yesterday with a potential client. Okay. I'm not going to share the name of the company. Okay. But we were talking, and the client brought this up. Okay. The prospect brought this up to me when we were talking about it. And she said, I really want to get this going with you guys. We want to get the team, start working with y'all. We know that it's going to be something that benefits them because, with our previous leadership, we had that in place, and the team was so much more energized. They worked so much better, and now they've reached the stage of like apathy, and they just have this, their personalities, their attitudes completely different. And this person proceeded to tell me that the previous leadership left the company about 5, 6 years ago. And they haven't had any sort of training culture or training events or anything of that sort in all that time frame. And so just listening to that story, and if you picture it yourself, so you've got a team that's doing great. They're fantastic. Look, man, it's part of the culture, the learning, the growing, the bringing somebody in to work with them. And the team is doing great attitudes, great customer service, great everything. But then leadership leaves and they do away with that training portion of it. And now here we are 5 years later, and the team is not where they want them to be. They don't even, everything that they described to me is completely different of what they used to be. So right there, it just goes to show, it goes hand in hand. The success of your company, the success of your team, the success of whatever is going to happen is because of the culture that you decide to create. And there must be a culture of preparation and training. Even if your team doesn't do it, even if the company you work for doesn't do it, you need to do it. The great thing about it is you have all the control. You, the person in the mirror, have all the control over whether or not you do that or not. I had that conversation with my son this morning through a message that I sent him as well, saying, hey, it's time for you to put in the work. It's time for you. You have the control to make this better. And so you, my friends, the same token, have the control, have the opportunity to do great things, but you have to prepare for them. And preparation doesn't end. That's the whole thing. You have to understand it's all this as well. It doesn't end. You don't reach a point where, I got it all. It's something you have to continue to do, because just like that company that I mentioned to you, they were doing great. They were great. And then they took all that away from them. And it just went back down, because that's who we are as humans. If I allow myself to stop, if I allow myself to stop learning, growing, being consistent with work, we're going to take a nosedive. It happened over the last year. I was doing great the last 2.5, 3 years of working out daily and all that. I've told you all about that. I was looking at pictures a couple of weeks ago with my wife. I'm like, holy crap, what happened to me? In 1 year of stopping doing that, everything changes. So you need to be consistent with it in the preparation. It doesn't end. So what can we do in order to do that? Okay, we're going to go over the top 5 things that you can do to be that type of person who is constantly preparing, who is constantly getting better and improving. First of all, you have to stop lying to yourself. You have to stop lying to yourself and convincing yourself that because you were in the game already, and maybe you went through some training, right? And especially those of you that have been in for a while. Well, I'm here. I've been doing this for decades. I'm an adult. I can talk to people. Stop lying to yourself in thinking that you're going to be a high achiever and perform at the highest level and maximize your efforts without being the type of person who prepares, continues to grow, continues to learn. So we first of all have to stop lying to yourself. Next thing, you have to care enough to understand that this is bigger than you. It's not about you. We're helping families become homeowners. You are helping families become homeowners. They need you to be better, because you may think, well, they're just not buying. But here's the thing, they're not buying from you. And the problem is this, you have to understand this. Look, it's not even about them going and buying from somebody else, because the majority of them leave and they're so disenchanted that they don't even buy. And so you're letting people down by not allowing them to make the decision they wanted to make, because you refuse to get better, because you refuse to improve your sales process, because you refuse to improve on being able to overcome the objections that you know you're going to receive, because you continue to believe and fool yourself and lie to yourself and thinking that you are good enough. It's them. That's what you think. It's them. It's the market. It's the economy. It's their interest rates. It's the house. It's the prices. No, man, it's you. So care enough to understand that it's bigger than you. You have to put in the work. Next, you have to create belief in yourself. You have to create belief in what you do. You have to create belief in your product. You have to create belief in your company. You have to create belief in yourself. And more importantly, you have to create belief in what you can accomplish, in what you can do for yourself. Look, there's nothing wrong with you benefiting from helping families become homeowners. There's nothing wrong with you changing your life, transforming your life. There's nothing wrong with you becoming a huge success and using this as a springboard for other things. There's nothing wrong with it. What's wrong here is the lack of vision, the lack of belief, the lack of understanding. There's so much more out there, and you refuse to see it. And you approach this as just a job, a mundane opportunity, something that you do to live, survive. Maybe you do a little bit well. Maybe you're making a couple $100,000 or 300,000, which is great money, but there's so much more you could do. And especially those of you that aren't making that, you really need to go after it. But you have to create huge belief in this and go make it happen. And with all of those things, stop lying to yourself. You understand that it's bigger than you. You create that belief. Now you have to commit to daily learning. And that learning has to be intentional. Don't just go through the motions and reading something, training on something. You have to be intentional with your training. Hey, Susan, good morning. Hope you're doing well. You have to be intentional with it. You have to understand, look, I need work on this, and this, and I'm going to tackle this part first. And then from there, I'm going to move on to this. And you know what? Maybe I need to do this also with my health. And it just becomes part of your life. Continuous improvement, continuous growth in your life, throughout your life. I sent my wife a video a few weeks ago where they were showing this lady who is in her 70s still and doing strength training. Late 70s, I believe she was, and still doing strength training. It has to become a part of your life, growing, learning, preparing, and improving yourself has to be part of your life. You know, I don't remember where Susan is at. I just remember Susan is you're in an RV park somewhere. I can't remember where it's at. Apologies for that. But there's so much more that Susan can, she gets this logged up and executes at a high level. Then Susan can use what she does from this to do other things. And then you use that to become other things. Because here's the thing you have to understand, whether you're Susan or anybody else across the country, you take a person like a Jeff Bezos. You look at the person that he is now in his 60s, but you don't understand everything that he had to go through to get to that point. And there was different phases, different growths, and he took one thing and made it another, which made it another, which made it another. Continue to grow, continue to expand, and that goes from learning. That goes from belief. That goes from understanding that there's more opportunity. We were made to thrive. God made us to thrive and live forever. Do you think he was going to have us live forever and just do the same thing every single day? The idea was that we continue to get better, continue to grow, continue to do more things. And you still can do that. It's just we have a lot shorter time frame now. You only get the one life. You should go after it with full authority. But it takes you preparing. And part of the preparation, folks, is action. All right. Part of the preparation is action. You have to have a no excuses mentality, and you got to level up through that preparation. Go out and do great things. But don't be that kind of person who's reading every single book and they're watching every podcast and listening to every podcast and watching every video and doing. Don't be the person who's getting it all, but then failing to do the one thing that matters, executing on it, taking massive action, massive, daily, consistent action. Execute on your 5 critical tasks for the day. I got that from Andy Frisella. 5 critical tasks every day. And you do that. Those 5, they just keep stacking on top of each other. 5 today, 5 tomorrow, 5 on Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is 7 days a week moving in the direction. So if Susan wants to take what she's doing right now and turn it into a separate business, a restaurant, whatever it is she wants to do, she got to work on what she's doing now, getting better and executing better at that RV community to be able to use some of those benefits, those gains, those financial gains, to start executing on some tasks towards that next goal. And when you do that, now you're working with purpose. Now you're working with intentionality. Now you're seeing the progress and you're becoming a different person and you're becoming an example to everyone around you and you're achieving things that no one even thought you would. Do you really think that when Jeff Bezos was in his garage starting Amazon, that anyone thought that it would be what it is today? You can do the same things, my friend, and the world needs you. The world needs you to operate in that manner. And the great thing about this industry, the reason I tell you about this is because in this industry, to do those things, it takes money to go to that next level. It takes money to do this next thing. You want to help in your community, whether it's a nonprofit, even nonprofits need money. So execute at a high level and use those gains, that financial gain you're getting from this industry to help the next, to do the next thing. So don't fall into the guilt of, well, people are going to think that I'm just trying to make more and more money. Yes, you're making more. You're after making more and more money because you're after doing bigger and better things. You're not staying stuck in life the way they are. That you're not just being selfish and thinking just about yourself the way that they do. You're not just trying to get by. This is not a job just above broke. This is a huge opportunity for you, but you need to become the type of person who prepares. You need to get out of your own way. And if you are that person, you're watching this, look, I'm telling you with all the sincerity in my heart, I'm not trying to be an ass when I say this, but if you're that person who sits in the training, if you sit in your job and you are just denying every little thing, you've got this mentality about you, this personality about you, that why am I even doing this? Why do I have to train? What do you mean this and that? You think you got it all figured out? Do yourself and everyone a favor. Go find something else to do. Because the families that come and visit you, the families that come to your location need you to be better, need you to be stronger, to help them get out of their own way. And if you're not willing to do that, you're actually being very, very selfish, and you're costing so many people an opportunity. So that's what preparation is all about. And that's why we say that you will only perform to the level that you prepare for. As Mike Krzyzewski said in our quote from today, champions practice like they play, or play like they practice. You have to commit to that excellence in every habit. Excellence, something that's missing, something that's, I think, is making a comeback, right? Let's go out and do it. You guys have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday. Once again, prayers to all the families affected with the flight on Washington. Thoughts and prayers go out to you and yours, and for everyone out there. Look, let's go make the most out of today and every single day, because just like that, we don't know when's that last day for us. We'll be talking again soon. Be back in here tomorrow, God willing, with another 15 minutes to mastery, where we help take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level. We'll be talking soon. Until then, my friends, I can't wait to meet you.